Maybe.
Okay. Well, welcome to Friday, everyone. I'm just glad you could join wherever you happen to be. Today we have Francesco Fontana. Francesco is a brand ambassador. It's from Italy. Excellent artist. I was very privileged to do an art studio with Francesco early on in the COVID, and I've met him in San Diego. He's an absolutely wonderful, wonderful artist, and lots of input should you ask him questions, which I would really encourage. If you're on Zoom, you could ask your questions directly. And then if you're on Facebook, I'll go ahead and read your message, or somebody will read your message to Francesco. So with that, Francesco, welcome. It's wonderful to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so glad we can connect again.
Yes, it's a pleasure. So I know that we had sent you a list of questions. Maybe you can tell us more about yourself. You know, who did you look up to as an artist? Where were you educated, etc.? How long have you been a watercolorist, and did you do other mediums?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll make you short, hopefully, because it's a long story. Anyway, I was born in Sicily, Palermo, Sicily, and I've been drawing since I can remember. As many of us probably. Then I went to art school, and very young I moved to Paris. I was 21, 22, and started my career actually as a portrait artist down the street of Paris. Montmartre, very kind of legendary places in Paris. So that was kind of a bohemian dream that I was dreaming.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that's the way it started. And then it was then I kept doing that. I started to paint in oil at a certain point, and for many years I've been painting in oil. But I loved watercolor, and I used maybe as the sort of draft and sketches and stuff like that. But then I took it more seriously, and I started, especially when I went to the States about 10 years ago. For some reason they encouraged me to keep on doing work on watercolor. And so I did, and then that's what I met you, by the way, So since then, I've been a lot of stuff that's been going. I've been sort of exhibiting, many places, teaching workshops in so many countries. Just coming back to the States next week to teach a workshop in Dallas, by the way. Then DVDs, a lot of stuff, so really, really busy. And so in the past 2-3 years, I've been focusing on figures, let's call it figures in the context. So, people that work in the street, people that do street jobs. Probably that was kind of a memory of my beginnings in Paris, because I was a street artist. That was 40 years ago, by the way. So I started to go back to portraiture and figures. And what else? I mean, it's you ask me questions, because I can go for hours. Yeah. Now I teach at the Milano Painting Academy, which is a new fine art academy, and I teach watercolor. I try to, as I was saying to Angela, I try to push watercolor in galleries, because galleries are now so prepared for watercolor in general, unfortunately. I do write my blog, I do research color as well, because I used to think of myself as a tonalist painter at the beginning. I used to work in charcoal, and pastel and oil, etc. And in the past, in the last few years, I've been trying to expand my palette and and study more the color world. So, yeah.
We have this presentation deck ready.
Fantastic.
Okay, we want to make sure that everybody who has not followed you yet, Francesco, gets the chance to follow you for the daily inspiration. Here we go. Would you like to proceed? Carry on, please.
Yeah, it's talking to me. Oh, yeah. I just, you wanted me to comment those paintings. Those are the figures I was talking about. Those people working down the street or on the beaches. And it's, I don't know, for some reason I'm attracted by those stories. And so in a way, my painting is becoming also storytelling. So in one figure, I try to tell a story. And so, my palette is also, as I said, expanding, trying to.
May I say, you not only try, but you succeed in telling a story because they are so alive. So alive.
You're too sweet, Angela. Thank you.
So this is Francesco's Instagram account. Make sure that you follow him even as he speaks today. And this is also his Facebook account, his website, and would like to just put a spotlight for an upcoming workshop on April 12 and 14. And this is in the US. Registration has to be done via this page. Am I correct, Francesco? Yes,
Southwestern Watercolor Society. Please go there and just check. If you're lucky, you may have 1 or 2 spots left. So if you're in the area, of course, Dallas area. Yep, that's going to be fun. It's going to be about color. So color is kind of becoming a daily, daily business nowadays.
Thank you.
And we're going to a question in regards to his addresses. The one had Francesco Fontana without the T. Was that correct for the Instagram address? There's no T in it?
No, that's not correct. That's Fontana.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You need a T.
It should have the, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a pedant.
No,
Thanks for noticing that, Bill.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's Fontana. It has to have the T, as it shows here. Yeah.
Good catch.
And now we're going to move on to some sample artworks. Would you like to share a bit about this piece here, Francesco?
Yeah, this guy really exists. I mean, I was chasing for him after I made the painting, but I couldn't find him. He was walking up and down the beach, the sand of the beach of Palermo, where I'm from, a couple of summers ago. And it was just selling inflatable, that kind of, kids stuff. And I was impressed because those guys, they walk all day long under the heat, the sun. And ideally also, they come from the sea in a way, because a lot of them are just boat people, lending Sicily, Italy, Europe in general, via the ocean. And those who are lucky enough to make it. So that's the story behind it.
Coffee comments that she loves the chin and the lip detail.
I'm sorry? Say again, please.
Coffee comments that she likes the chin and the lip detail in the previous painting.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, the chin, I'm sorry, I missed that word.
And the lip and the lips.
Oh,
the details on the lips and the chin.
Yeah, and what about that? I mean, it's.
She likes it. She just comments she likes it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I do like it. I mean, I do sort of made it because it's kind of an expression that I think does a lot. I grabbed that moment that I think you can feel the fatigue, the you know.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Yeah. Well, this is another guy working again. That was in Lisbon. Lisbon. So the tuk-tuk was meant, of course, is meant to um, drive tourists around. And I thought it was a moment, again, some, people spending the day on the street and trying to connect with maybe their family or friends and just waiting to make a living.
Mhm.
Yeah. The sky too is so one of those in the same beach of Palermo. It's another guy working down on the shores for swimmers, for tourists, selling stuff. And I thought this is different expression. It was looking at me actually, and I was it's pretty sometimes a bit embarrassing, but most times I talk to them, to the people I took photos of, and explain what I'm doing. So yeah, it was cool. But for some reason, again, you got the very strong eyes expression, and I work it out to make it to render that. I have a couple of studies here that can show you that as part of the conversation, if you want, later in the day, in the session.
I think we have a question. Juliet raised her hand. Carry on, please, Juliet. Juliet.
What are you, Julia?
Okay, we can come back later. Okay, and this piece.
Yeah, basically the same story of people making the living down the street while most people are just having fun. This you might recognize as the Times Square in New York City. And it's also a personal memory because that was the first time I took my kids. I have two daughters, they are teenagers. And I took them, to visit the Big Apple and the big family that we have in the States. So it was a family reunion. So we went there. It was a good, great chance to introduce my girls to the big family. And the first night we were hanging around Times Square, I saw this Chinese Asian lady just collecting tons of cans and plastic bottles and stuff, and I was impressed, and I just took a picture because, of course, this you cannot paint it live, on the spot. And this one took a good 6 weeks to be painted, which is very unusual for me. I come from the the plein air experience, which is very fast in a way. In a couple of hours, you just have to resolve the painting. That one took 6 weeks.
Yeah, this was one of the questions, whether you painted from photos or live. So you do paint from photos, right?
Well, this kind of painting, yes, because these are pretty. This is imperial size, and as you can see, there's so many details, and both in the foreground, all those big bags, reflection from through the plastic and stuff, and also in the background with the crowd and the lights, etc. So also the scale. I did work on the scale as well, perspective. Anyway, I don't want to bother you with this, but anyway, I do a lot of stuff outdoor. So quickly on the spot. I do also paint models when I have the chance, live portrait. yeah, like in Monza, I did a section of live portraiting. And so, but this kind of project need the studio, this typical studio projects.
Are you willing to expand on, just to take a few moments and explain how you did manipulate the scale and how you did the critical analysis to make that decision?
Okay, I thought it wasn't that interesting. Well, but, you know, the photo was kind of sort of taller in a way, higher. So it included more sky, and the skyline was very nice. I mean, New York City at night is really is so exciting. You know? So I tried to reduce a little bit the scale of the background to include a little more of the sky. Otherwise, if I was, you know, the same scale of the figure in the foreground, I would have had less on top, less sky, less background. Yeah, that's the thing. So well, let's say the foreground is I can't remember, like 1 to 1.3, 1.6. You know, like under 60% of the photo, and the background is 1.3. You know, under 30% of the real. I mean, not the real, but the photo size. Got my point? Got my explanation?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
And this is the last sample artwork.
Okay. Well, same thing. So this guy, this is Barcelona. So Spain. Oh, nearby Angela.
Yes.
So I think I took note of the square, by the way, but I can tell you right now. Anyway, so I saw this guy. I thought it was fun. This is kind of very instant action, like take a pic and see, because of course you take many, not always you make a painting out of them. But so I took this one and a bunch of others. Then I decided that was interesting. And in a sense, I was also attracted by the drapery. See the trousers?
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So there was something. Maybe this one it's more about exploring that kind of stuff. But also I wanted to edit off a lot of the I was about to edit off the background. I actually I took away a lot of stuff on the plane, on the pavement. So it's a bit more, it's not actually the real thing. None of them are actually the real thing in the sense that a lot of colors have changed, and you know, a lot of stuff is being edited off, etc. This one is more self-displaying in a way.
Thank you. Okay.
Those were very nice.
Actually, before you go on, could I ask about your camera and whether you use film or digital for the photos that you take?
Oh, that's embarrassing, because I still embarrassing because I still use my phone, and I checked many professional photographer to advise me, but I never had time to. I'm in the process of buying some good stuff, and most of all, learn how to use it, because you can buy any sort of huge equipment, but then you can't use it properly. So I need to find the time to learn how to do better photos with better technology, etc.
Francesco, one of the questions that was asked is whether your paper is cold pressed or hot pressed, and what brand is your favorite?
I'm ready for that.
Well done.
I'm using this one. Most of the times is Hahnemuhle. Is cold pressed. Okay.
300 grams, yes.
So this is a little bit of a commercial in a way, sort of. But actually, today I'm using Arch, so I do, you know, the balance. No, I use that one because I found it very smooth in the texture, pretty smooth and nice. You can lift a lot the color when you need.
With Hahnemuhle, it's easy to lift color.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but of course the studio is full of paper because friends send me samples. So for instance, tonight I think I have a couple of arches still cold pressed. Anyway, I like the Granofino, the fine grain, because I like to draw. So it's smooth to draw.
Is your palette on an incline, Francesco?
Now,
Yeah, is it on an incline?
a little bit, yes. Sometimes even more. If I use a plate, I do even more. Tonight I'm using the Strabo palette because in case you want to know, I can show you the palette, you know, color selection.
You prefer to work plein air or in your studio?
Hi Sylvia, thank you. It goes with the season, as I probably said. In the summer, it's fun to paint outdoor. In the spring as well. Now, it's fun to paint outdoor, especially with friends. But it's different when you have, well, in the winter, it's good to have projects in the studio, and also, you know, the past 2 years we're being secluded in a way most of the time, so it was a great chance to, in a sense, it was a good opportunity to dig into new projects, you know, and work in the studio, and we are lucky because we have something to do that we love. You know.
Yes.
So Francesca, did you want to, you can begin anytime you'd like.
Yeah. So you're talking about doing something, some action. Okay. Okay. So basically, I thought it was fun to just make quick sketches with color families, like I do when I do my demos with my students. You know, do quick stuff, and so picking colors from my palette, and I have a bunch of previous small demo or quick sketches, so we can pick some of them. And well, not a portrait tonight. Well, show you, but no tonight. You know, just samples of small things that could be a pretext to paint something quickly. So let me. Ideally, I pick one of this, and of course, this one, yeah. And you guys may suggest, I'll show you my palette, and you, okay, these are the colors I have in this palette. And okay, it's a reverse, sorry, I brought it in the reverse. So here I used purple think this one is quinacridone purple, some green and yellow. I think the yellow is more of a queen gold. So queen gold, purple, phthalo. That's the family, the recipe sort of, this little piece. So the game tonight could be, if you like, that, you know, any of you guys just start with a color, pick a color from this palette, and then we start from that one. Of course, different from this, and see what you know, what happens. So, anybody, any choice?
Go crazy surreal colors.
Sorry.
Colors that are not considered natural in the environment that you're doing. Surreal.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. The thing is that basically there are two ways I intend color, you know, work. As you can work on local colors and try to mix and do and reflect the reality. And so be realistic in your color selection, or the opposite in a way, you can just pick your own colors and transform and interpret the reality or that given painting, that given scene, and give a totally new, completely new atmosphere. So that's a chance we have. Let me just, yeah.
Sorry. Where would you like to start in the painting?
I'm sorry, what do I like to start from?
Yeah, and then we can have an idea of what particular colors we might be able to suggest.
Don't worry about that. You know, just I don't even know. I have to draw it I'll draw it in 2 minutes. But anyway, so I don't actually know. I think I might start from the background. Say the background. I'll start from the background.
I'd like to see Bloodstone Genuine.
I'm sorry?
I would like to see Bloodstone Genuine. I haven't used it myself, so I'd be interested in seeing it.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you, I don't think I have that one.
Or Ultramarine Turquoise.
Okay. So, okay, that's the game. Let's get into action. Let's pick this.
Excuse me, Francisco.
Yes.
So when you do a painting like this lovely house here, are you working in triads? Are you working with complementary colors? What are you thinking when you're using colors like this together?
Yes, I do. That's what I was asking for the first color, because I think, okay, I want this. What we said. I'm sorry, we said which one? Ultramarine turquoise. Okay, so I said, okay, this is a green, basically a green. So I'll look for his complement, and I will. So I go to red or magenta around there, you know. And then I say, okay, what could be an analogous color to, you know, enrich a little bit the play, the recipe. And basically I start from that, just 2 or 3 colors, 3 or 4 colors, but basically I want the complement to be there, because of course you can mute down colors, you can change temperature, you can, you know, make color scales, etc. So if we're talking about ultramarine turquoise, I would just pick a permanent red dip, which is one of my 2 or 3 reds, which is the warmer one. So ultramarine is very cool. I mean, turquoise is very cool. So I think I would balance with the warmer red. And yeah, then we can pick another one, which is not in this previous work, and that could be what, say another one. We want to make it warmer. Yes, I think we could just pick new gamboge, right? Okay, so and then the mix that will come out is we're gonna have some orange, we're gonna have you know, a gradation of green, and we're going to have some darks as well. Okay, so this one is toned already. I have some red in this. Okay, so I kind of toned the paper, made a tint, and now just quickly, let's make a quick drawing.
Francisco,
Yeah.
when you're doing a painting outside of a demo, do you prefer to get a strong drawing in place, or do you prefer it to be quite loose, the drawing, and get most of the work done through the painting?
Well, my best, way is to make the big shapes, and then fraction breakdown after 1 or 2 layers, break down more details. Okay, so that's my favorite way to work when it's possible. So I try to also work with glazes as much as possible to have more, reflection and texture. Okay, I think this is enough. So this is kind of a sample, an exercise. That's the way I mean it. Let me put it here. So we said we want to work with okay. So we said turquoise. Let me put it here. We said permanent red dip.
Is that a sponge that you've got on your palette, Francisco?
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. And then try to mix this to see what happens when they meet. Okay, so this is the dark. We're gonna have those darks, and then we said new camera. Yeah, camera. So this is going to be some of the mix we're going to have. So it's going to be more natural than we thought, probably. Okay, so I promised to start from the background. Okay, I will.
Francesco, what brushes do you use?
Okay, this one, it's just a flat one, but it's so old. I can tell you. In general, I use Princeton like this flat one, but also this mop. What else? This one. I also have, and basically, to be honest, my partner recently is Borciani e Bonazzi, which is an Italian brand, Borciani and Bonazzi, and they have this nice round lobes and This oval cat tone, which is nice too. I'm gonna use it. Let me use it. Yeah, that's so many. I got about 100 brushes here. So okay, so hold on. I want to just keep doing this background for. I don't want to lose the freshness of the wet paper. So this is pretty warm now, and I think I'm gonna then do some layer to make your, of course, darker in value. This background is pretty, dark, but I think I'll do this layer first and then increase a little bit, just 1 or 2 layers. So let's put a little more red in here. Okay. And a little bit, let me test turquoise here. These are synthetic, squirrel, sable, a lot of different.
Francesco,
Excuse me?
hello. With your brush usage, what do you prefer? A large sweeping brush that has less control, or a more detailed control brush? Or is it a mixture of both?
Well, I like to, as you can see, I like to use flat brushes a lot, and because they allow me to make a large layers and make you breathe, as I said, and then some details, so you pointed brushes, also some other like angular, what do you say, this one, diagonal. Okay, so then what we have, I'll go with some dark around here. So,
Are you a person who uses much masking?
no masking, no.
No.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. Maybe I'm not passionate enough to start by sort of covering, saving the white of the paper. Also because I don't like very much to leave the very white. I don't know, on my screen it looks white, but this is actually pinky. As I made a layer, I wash before, and so okay. So this kind of gray, but put some some red in here. So
This subject matter, is it actually from a real place, or is this just a imaginary
this is a real
house?
place, but which I painted with different colors since the beginning. That was made on plein air. It's in the mountain where we have mountain house for vacation and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you.
Francesco, there's a question from Kathy. Do you use mostly transparent watercolors or does it not matter?
Yes, I do. I do. Most of them are transparent. Yeah, Queen Aquilon, a lot of queens, yes. Sienna, Burnt Orange, Queen Gold. Yeah. So let's do this cool, but not too cool. Okay. Yeah. So I'm actually working with only 3 colors, but again, for every given painting, I decide, sorry, which one I want to, once I want to use. Sometimes I'm more than 3, 6 or 7, but I believe that if you use a limited palette for every single painting, you keep the identity very strong. That's my idea. So let's do this very orange. And also I enjoy to try to pull out the most of the very least resources, so that, you know, I sort of challenge myself to see what I'm able to do. Can't believe it. Those are my kids, but should be someone home. Okay. Yep.
Francisco.
Yep.
I've got a question for you, right?
Sure.
If you were stuck on an island and you only had 4 paints, I'm being generous this week, 4 paints. Which 4 paints would you take with you?
I'm sorry, for what paint?
4 paints, colors of paint.
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Yeah, I think I would pick a couple of warm and a couple of cool ones. So sienna. Today I would just pick sienna, purple, turquoise, and what did I say? Sienna, purple, yeah, turquoise, and either yellow or French ultramarine, a blue anyway, a warm, yeah, very warm blue. I don't know. This is very
good.
By instinct. That's the mood of today. Tomorrow will be another choice.
Is painting a very mood orientated thing for you?
Excuse me just a second. Sorry, say it again, please.
Is painting and the colors that you use a very mood orientated thing for you?
I would say in this case, yes. More complex project may require more days with reflection, and so I may change my mind and just think it over over my choices, etc. This is really kind of quick stuff and just just pick what I feel, the mood of the moment, as you said. So let's make something darker and muted here.
Francesco,
Francisco?
Yeah.
How long ago did you tone the paper? Was it yesterday, an hour before? I'm assuming it was completely dry when you started.
Yeah. Oh, that was around an hour before we started. But it could have been just 15 minutes because it dries very fast. So, okay, I like to do.
Thank you.
Yes.
I sometimes wonder why people don't use toned watercolor paper. It was quite popular at one time of day.
Yeah, maybe because I come from the oil culture, and we always don't. Well, most times, many paint from start on a white canvas, but I was taught to I don't want to do this green. No, let's change it. Say, more like this. So I was taught to always tone the canvas and do the end. Well, sometimes then the painting, but tone the canvas, kill the white. And I find that it's good for watercolor too, because however, if you need to leave some very highlight, you can do it. You can do it. It's not a big deal. People are scared that if you just put, you color the paper, then you cannot get back. You can change it. So,
Francesco, what grade or hardness of pencil do you use?
I'm sorry?
What grade or hardness of the graphite pencil are you using?
Oh, this one was 3B. I used kind of pretty soft pencils, graphite, soft because smooth and it's easy to erase. That's it. So
It's a Faber-Castell.
yeah.
Yeah.
Foreground. Okay. Okay, so what do I have there? Very dark. And yep. We'll just do it pretty gray.
Here in the States, we call a little house like that a tiny home or a mother-in-law house. What I like about that nice piece of, well, off-white is right now it's giving my eye an area to rest. And I notice you do that a lot in your work. You give these really nice areas. Even with the ones with the people who are working, there were nice areas where you're giving the eye a rest.
Yeah, I do consider that when I plan a painting. Yeah, so thanks for noticing it.
How important is it to have context for your painting subject?
Well, it is because I find those stories those people in a certain situation. So it is but related to my own experience. So it's kind of a memory to anchor a memory, personal memory, but also because maybe that people wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same story if it was another place. So I think it matters. Okay, so now it's about to increase in value. Yeah. Maybe I want to balance this yellow here. Okay, let me work on the background now. So, yep. So now first what we can do is just draw some kind of tree. Just some simple thing.
Question from Wenda Francesco. Do you wash your foam, the foam there, or you just replace it?
Do I wash what?
Do you wash the foam, the thin foam where you blot your brush on?
I'm not sure.
The sponge.
The sponge,
sponge.
sponge, yeah.
Oh, the sponge. Okay. Yeah, I use it just to drop some water, the excess of water, or just to clean it completely. Is that the question you asked?
When
Yeah.
you're all done, you actually clean the sponge. When you're done your process, do you actually clean it?
Yeah, I just maybe you don't say it, because what I do is this. I'm sorry, here, and then I just
Do you wash your sponge or you replace it?
oh, that's what that was questions. I'm sorry. I do wash it for a while, I'm sorry. It was much simpler than I thought. Yeah, I use it for a few times, then I get a new one. That's it. So, okay, let's some vertical stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I don't understand the first place. Okay, so let's make it darker.
I have a question. Did you start with your paper wet, or was it wet into dry?
This one was wet into dry.
Thank you.
But sometimes, I start with the wet paper, because maybe you want to have the background out of focus. And so.
Francesco, do you actually prefer to work wet onto dry, or does it, or is it dependent on the subject matter at any one time?
Yeah, it is. I do both in the same painting most times, because for instance, in the background and distance, you want to have it out of focus, a little blurred, and you want to have more defined. And of course, when you paint, you paint on dry, you have more a sharp definition, sharp edges, and you have soft edges if you work on wet paper. So, but you can have both in the same painting, which is beautiful. You might need a little bit of distance to have that kind of aerial, what you call, I don't know how you call it, I can't remember. The aerial effect of kind of, out of focusness. So,
how many layers would you typically do in a painting?
3 or 4. 3 or 4, yeah. Yeah, an opportunity to. Okay, well now let's do. Okay.
Francesco,
Yeah.
do you do any lifting of paint off of your paintings?
Yeah, sometimes, yes. You know, most times actually, not in this case, but sometimes with portraits and stuff, which is more, you know, sensitive sort of when you want to fix something more precisely. So
With a painting as delicate as this, do you have to be careful how you deal with the shading of it?
excuse me, I'm sorry. The audio is not that, you know.
Sorry. With a painting as delicate as this is, do you have to be very careful about the shading that you add to it?
You're talking about this one particularly?
Yeah, particularly this one that's quite a light painting. Yeah.
Well, this is not so challenging for me. I mean, I don't see, well, the delicacy is there probably. Yeah, in terms of you know, shades and you know, color shift, temperature shift, etc. But it's not so challenging. I'm enjoying it. Just doing quick cleanings, you know, instinctively. No much pressure worry, so it's okay. It's pretty.
Francesco, what's the normal amount of time it takes you to finish a painting?
Say it again, please.
What's the normal amount of time it takes you to complete a painting?
Oh well, it depends. This is, you know, this one is going to be completed in a. All in all, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes, I don't know. But of course, as I said, you know, the one at Times Square took 6 weeks. So really something this size, an hour and a half is why not?
Very nice.
Francesco, someone, Niska is asking whether you have a clear idea of what you are going to paint before, or you make it up more or less as you go along.
Well, I would say both. I just do. I have a plan. I have the big picture in mind, you know. So I leave details to the moment, but I have an idea in my mind. So yeah. So it's if you want to put it like music, it's like jazz music. I have the tune in mind and the harmony, and then part of it is improvisation.
Thank you. That's lovely.
We have a question to follow up with, and Gabriel is pressuring me to ask this one.
He's too shy to ask.
No, he's it was my question from last week. I was wondering, do you have words of encouragement or maybe advice for what you do for yourself when you hit a dry spell or a season that it's just really hard to keep going as an artist? How do you encourage yourself? How do you motivate, not just motivate yourself through it, but encourage yourself through it? And how would you encourage other artists that are facing hard seasons?
Yeah, good question. I'll ask you in a second because my phone is just kind of, oh, sorry. It was ringing some what you call it? Clock. Okay, good question. Thanks. Yeah, it happens that you are pretty kind of demotivated or you know, disappointed, or even if you have a career, a long-time career. To be honest, I'm not that guy because I always find a you know, motivation and juice in you know, I'm always willing to paint and to explore and to do stuff. So I'm not that guy, but to encourage people that might find themselves in that position, I would say just grab a pencil and a piece of paper and just scrabble around. Do something every day, even a little simple thing. Just grab your pencil, grab your brush, and do whatever. Play. You have to play, because most of the frustration comes from the idea that you're not good enough, and you're going to be frustrated. But if you think in terms of play mode, like kids, you know, with no pressure, with no expectations, you'll enjoy it and you'll find, you know, motivation, new, fresh motivation. That's what I would do. Okay, let me sort of.
May I have the courage to ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
I know the discipline of working every day and day in and day out, and to be learning by being productive, highly productive. I think, so personally, the challenge I'm facing is having to do with the external context, how the external context that are applying pressure destroy focus, and they destroy the ability to have attention and to focus deeply for a long period of time. And the external events are very destructive. So how do you survive as an artist through that?
You're talking about the daily obligations, stuff like that, or so we're talking about, you know, just trying to focus in spite of, you know, the daily life.
I think I'm talking more about macro issues, such as we've all experienced in the last 2 years. Many artists experienced COVID as a very stressful time that destroyed their focus. Some not, but some did, where the external situation was destructive on their productivity and was destructive on their ability to create and have that creative life. Yeah. Or another example, growing up in a war zone, the stresses of war and violence and were destructive. How do you keep going and encourage through those situations?
Yes, great questions, I would say. Look, of course, I'm very sensitive about what happens around me. Was it the COVID or the war today? But for some reason, my reactions, there are two kinds of reactions. One is try to see what I can do in my small, tiny, you know, world, sort of world. Like I'm working on paintings related, to the war, which is maybe I never show them out. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's in progress, but it's a way to sublime. Can you say sublime that? Sublimize, something like that. Sort of, try and find the reason to interact with that, with those emotions, because you have emotions. And so how can I elaborate that? How can I elaborate those emotions? And so being an artist, that helps me because I have a way to put my emotions into this, or to something more specific if I want, related to the war in this case. The other reactions that I have is just, okay, I need a break. I need a break because we cannot bear too much stress, too much, inputs. So painting becomes the way, my happy place, my place where, I free my mind and empty my preoccupations and, concerns. So yeah, so that's my way. And in those days, I mean, this challenging days, they're motivating more than ever, more than before. You know what I mean? And I think artists in history always had a reaction to war, to disasters, to whatever, theater. Artists react. I think artists, in a way, the most noble way to react, in a way, because it's for all. And what, not by chance, I think it's no surprise that artists are generally, I don't know an artist is pro-war, whatever war that is. I mean, artists by definition are pacifists, are peaceful people, as far as I know. So we should all the position. Know what I mean?
Francesco, thank you very much. Francesco, would you be able to post your final piece? I know you're probably going to want to do some touch-ups to it. Would you post it to Facebook and Instagram so we can see it?
Yeah, you mean right now?
Whenever you're done.
Oh, yeah. I might need, I don't know if we have time. I might need 5 more minutes, maybe, to.
We could do 5 more minutes. Sure.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm almost done. I think I'm okay. I'm comparing with my original reference, just because I want to keep the values, the same value statement. All right, so let's put some pure red, big red dots here. A bit of so in terms of values, yeah.
Francesco,
Yes. Yep.
What I'm personally getting from this particular painting and some of your others that I've looked at are very crisp edges, defined, almost like man-made feel. And it's making me feel like it's almost Art Deco. Do you feel that in your paintings?
You mean, are you talking about the architecture, the design of the house, or you mean about the painting?
The painting as a whole, it makes me feel like Art Deco for some strange reason. I don't know why. I might have had a funny cup of tea.
To be honest, I don't know if I should take it as a compliment. I don't know. It's never considered that way. Honestly, in terms of style.
it's the stylization of like man-made straight edges.
Okay, yeah, in a way that, but I like that. I mean, I like to stylize stuff. I mean, subject in my painting, and find sort of give it a form that is that can only exist on the paper or the canvas or whatever. It doesn't really exist in real life. So, but it's representational. I mean, you can recognize a building or something, but it's definitely not the, too realistic.
Yeah, thank you.
Francisco, when you're teaching, do you ask your students to get the colors that are on your dot card, or do you have them start with a minimal palette?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't just, well, since John is here, of course, they can only use those Daniel Smith, whatever, whoever palette that be, maybe Giovanni's or I don't know, but as long as it's Daniel Smith, it's fine. No, well, I haven't start with just a few colors, just the basic, the primaries, secondaries, more or less a earth color is sienna, so 6 or 7 as a start. I think it's if they're beginners, but if they're not beginners, they already have they'll they set they paint, so which is often Daniel Smith, sure. So
Thank you for being so willing to answer all these great questions.
Yeah. Okay, what I would say is just let's put a little bit of some gray stuff here and here. Like it was a shadow. Okay. And in a situation like this, you can go on and on, as long as you want, because it's the whole painting progress together, all together. So you can just put stuff gradually here and there, depending, values, colors, details, drawing. I could draw another window here, say, just in case, or, make some, you can make some shade, like cast shade of the tree, in the background. This is improvisation, as we call it. I don't want to exaggerate anyway. So then I'll erase the paint, the pencil. Fine. We'll erase it, and then let's do just a couple of minutes only. Almost done, just to do some line, some yeah, I don't need to do much anyway. Yeah, I'll try to keep it simple. That's why, in terms of stylization, as you said, style. I think I like to make it appear simple. And easy in a way. Okay. yeah, I think I'm done with this. Just maybe this one was too much.
Very nice.
Molto bueno.
Okay, okay, for this. Okay, today's April.
When you sign it, it's done.
Yes.
Can you remove the tape? Is it easy to remove the tape?
Oh, yes, but what's not easy is that I want
It's wet. It's still wet.
Well, I can dry it up. If you turn off the sound, I can dry it up.
It'll automatically turn off. The sound will automatically mute. Go ahead and use your blow dryer. It'll mute by itself.
Sorry, I thought it was easy.
That's a great painting, just the background there.
Fabulous. The way he has painted the tree is just fabulous.
I just bought a palette just like that.
Is that a Michelo palette?
Yes. Conveniently has 18 wells too for the 18 colors.
Exactly.
You know, an artist has been painting for a long time when the background that they're actually painting on is actually a painting in its own right.
Exactly.
Yeah, what I like the most is just to erase the pencil, because then you see some lost age, and I think it's nicer.
La Marina.
È classico, paesaggio in stile americano, alla opera.
What kind of eraser?
Just a rubber one, just a rubber, very soft. Not too smear on the paint. So, okay, this is important. You know, if you don't have this, I'm sorry.
Shaving brush.
You girls can use the one that you do your makeup with if you want.
Yeah, but it's not so big.
Very
Wow.
nice. Yeah, very, very nice. Beautiful.
Wow.
Amazing, Francesco.
Wow.
Bellissimo.
Well, mostly what it's interesting to just compare. If you can just go on it, turn the camera on the painting for a minute, for a second. Yeah, what is interesting, I think, it's that this is the same subject, different arrangement. It can be pushed a bit more, some more saturation or something, but basically it's a little bit of a different mood. And that's what I enjoy a lot.
Very nice.
Really lovely. I love the tree.
Yeah, that was a typical negative painting.
Yeah.
I worked it around the tree, and that was it. Yeah.
Francesco, thank you so very much.
You're welcome. You guys.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
Thanks for answering all our questions. Yeah. Thank you for answering all the questions. You're absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful to watch you. Thank you, everybody. It was great to see all of you. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you very